Gang, it's your girl Rochelle coming to you with a video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a theme treat. This treat that I'm going to be going over with you all is a under the sea treat. You can create it however you like, and I'm just going to show you some little techniques and creativity that I have when I put together these theme Oreos. If you are new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that bell to remind you that your girl Ro is on and coming to give you life. And to all my subbies, I welcome you back to your sweet connection. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment in the comment section below. And we're going to get started and we're going to get right into the video. So we're going to go over the supplies. So the supplies that I have here is the cavity Oreo Mold. I have some Paramount crystals just in case I need to use some to help my chocolate be smooth a little bit. My spoon, some Oreos, my glass mix measuring cup. I am going to be using in this video Wilton's Candy Melt, the lavender color. I have my chocolate chameleon, this is lavender color. This is a chocolate color that I'm also going to be applying to my chocolate. And I already have some melted chocolate. This is a teal color. And then I have teal fondant, purple fondant, which is by Daddios Pro Series, some sprinkles, and my mermaid tail mold, and a multiple mold here. And I also have another seahorse mold. Alright, so let's get into some dipping. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and melt our chocolate. And I have already applied my chocolate melts, candy melts to my measuring cup. And we're going to melt our chocolate for 30 seconds. Alright, now that 30 seconds is up, the first interval, I'm going to go ahead and just mix my chocolate around. This chocolate tends to be a little longer to melt. This is, once again, Wilton's chocolate. And I'm going to go ahead and do another 30-second interval. But I want to make sure that I move my chocolate around, especially from the bottom, so it can feel the warmth of the glass and melt a little bit. And then be much better when I melt it again. So going back in the microwave for another 30 seconds. Okay, so we took out our chocolate after melting it for the second time for 30 seconds. We still have a little lumps and bumps up in the chocolate, but what I'm going to do now is add the chocolate chameleon by Ariston Accent, and this is a violet color. And I'm just going to squeeze quite a bit amount in there, and I'm going to give it a stir, combining it really good, and you're going to see the change of this color come out. Okay. Okay, now what I'm going to do, because I want a more smoother flow of chocolate, I'm going to add some Paramount crystals, 1 tablespoon. And this is a 1 tablespoon that I'm adding that was to a 16-ounce bag of chocolate. Okay. And I'm going to put it in the microwave for about 10 seconds. Alright, so we are done melting. And we're just going to give it a stir. You've seen the crystals still sitting there, but mixing it in with the chocolate, it melted. These is just vegetable shortening crystals. And this is just to help melt the chocolate and give it a smooth consistency. Okay, and as you see, the color came out very nice. And now we're going to go ahead and dip our Oreos. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get our chocolate into our Oreo cavity. And what I'm going to do is put the chocolate in a piping bag to just give it a better flow. Instead of getting chocolate all over the place. So I'm placing a piping bag in a cup to better help me add this chocolate to the piping bag. And once I get all this in here, I'm going to cut the tip so that I can get a good flow to go into the cavity. Alright, so I got my cavity, I got my bag already filled, and what I'm going to do is just cut the tip big enough so that it's a good flow and not messy. And I done created a mess already. I'm just going to clean that up. Alright. And just add to your cavity halfway. It don't have to be all the way. This just helps you have control with your chocolate. Okay? So then you want to tap it out and apply. Shaking it on in there. Do not press all the way, then you will be pressing down your Oreo, and then you'll be seeing your Oreo through the chocolate, and you do not want that. You want a good coating for your Oreo, and you do not want it to come through. Okay? So taking your piping bag, and apply. Okay? Very easy to apply your chocolate. Cleaning that up. And then you want to place this in your freezer for about 5 minutes. Alright? You want to make sure it's not in there no longer than that. If you add too much oil to your chocolate, it do tend to take a little longer. But adding oil to your chocolate helps, but it may take a long time for it to harden up if you have added too much oil to your chocolate. So keep that in mind. So putting this in the freezer for 5 minutes, and we're going to come back and we're going to decorate. Alright, so while we're waiting on our Oreos to get done, we're going to go ahead and start molding our pieces that will be applied to the Oreos. And what I have here is some Seahorses. I have a large one, and then I have a little small one. Alright, so I added in some white fondant because we're going to color this gold, and I'm going to be using some Rokum powder and a little vodka to add to make our Seahorse gold. But first we're going to mold it, and as you see, I got a little bit of powdered sugar over here, or you can use starch, whichever one you prefer. And I also have some CMC powder, which is basically Tylose, that is going to stiffen up the fondant. So you want to just knead your fondant a little bit, make sure that you get all the crust out, and make sure that it's smooth enough to go into your molding. Then you're just going to add a little bit of CMC powder. You want to spread up, open your fondant. Okay, and you just want to work it in. Please don't pay my nails no mind. robing on the go. All right. So what I'm going to do is just take off a little piece, and I'm definitely going to put some powder in the molding. Just lightly mold it. And I'm going to use the smaller Seahorse. And what I do is just roll up some fondant and just work the fondant in to where I get just enough in, because this is a small piece. And I want to make sure that I get the outline. Make sure that no fondant is over the outline of this molding. Okay, but making sure that it's filled completely to get the full figure of the baby seahorse. Okay, now you can simply lay it on your surface and pull back to pull it out. Okay, and if you need to put it back in shape, you can. Okay, and now we're going to do the bigger seahorse. Once again, I roll out some fondant just to position the pieces in to see where I'm going and how much I'm working with. Okay, and just pinch off the mold from the mold and just work your way down as so. And like I stated, you want to make sure that you don't go over the edges, but make sure you're in line with the mold. Okay, now you can use some sculpting tools, some small sculpting tools that'll help with this, but I normally use my hands, and when I'm doing an order, you make sure you use some gloves. Okay, and that's about it. And I always rub my finger to make sure I got a flat surface, and pulling back. This mold is very flexible, so as I pull out, and there you have your seahorse. And I'd have smashed that one, but that's the baby seahorse. All right, so let's go into our mermaid tail. So now we have the mermaid tail. This is really fun. What I'm going to do is mix up some fondant and give the mermaid a nice two-tone look. And you just mix in your fondant. Okay, you want to get it on the side that has majority of the colors mixed. A nice two-tone, and then work the fondant into the mold. Okay, you can add powder. Let's add powder to it. Lightly powder. And I've already applied some CMC, some Tylose to this mold. And I'm actually going to cut off this portion and to where the tail is going to be a solid color. Okay, so as I'm just pinching off some fondant here, I'm working in the fondant to make sure that it's in line and not over. And I'm making sure that it's cut off where it's supposed to be, rubbing my finger over it to make sure we have a clean surface. And now I'm just going to add a teal bottom, teal tail rather. Okay, and we got a little bit too much there, so I want to make sure I gather the fondant with the other piece that I have in here so it will stick together. Make sure that it comes out together as one whole piece. Okay. And if your hands get sticky, just make sure just powder them up so that the fondant don't stick to your hands. Because sometimes it will. Okay. Rubbing your hand over it, make sure that everything's just smooth, and flipping it over. It's just going to be really nice. Okay. And you have a pretty fin. And that's your mermaid tail. Alright, so let's get our Oreos and start applying this to our Oreos and make this beautiful creation. Alright, our Oreos are done, and we're just going to place our hand to firmly support them and then flip them over, gently removing them, and they should come out easy as pie. Alright, making sure they don't crack. If you do keep them in there longer, sometimes they will crack across the surface. So you want to make sure you keep an eye on your Oreos. Also, I wanted to let you know, with this cavity, this is a 5-count cavity. This cavity is normally bigger. It's a bigger size than a regular 6-count cavity. So keep that in mind when you do these, or if you get you want a certain look with your Oreos. There is a difference between the two. So now let's color our seahorses. Alright, so for our seahorses, I'm going to color them gold just to give a nice look to our Oreos. And you can place these on a paper towel. Make sure you're careful with picking these up. Be very careful. And what you want to do is have a nice good flat brush, a color palette, and in this circle here I have just a small amount of vodka, and I'm just going to apply small amounts so I can get a good coating of the gold. If you add too much of the vodka, then then your gold will be too watery. So you want it to be like a starting off. If you're just putting it in the powder first, you can start it off with a paste, and that looks like this. I'm just adding some more so you can see. How it can form up a paste. Okay. So if that happens, what you can do, because this is actually enough, is add more vodka, which this is small bottle of Amsterdam. You just put a small amount in there. Okay, but you can use straight vodka. There's no specific brand, or you can use lemon extract. Alright, so let's get to painting, and it's just going to be a nice coat. If you have to let this dry and do a second coat, that's fine. If your gold is not coming out properly, but it should. Okay, and always prep your pieces way ahead of time. And since I'm doing them now, I am actually going to put these in the freezer, let them freeze to dry a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and apply them to our Oreos. And this is just as simple as that. Alright, so now we're going to get to decorating these Oreos. And I'm going to grab my chocolate, which I've already melted my chocolate since it's in this bag already. You don't need to warm this bag up no more than 15 seconds so that it melts and flows when you get ready to drizzle. So if you want to test your drizzle over to the side, you can go ahead and do so to make sure you have an even flow. And applying your chocolate to your Oreo, you want to let your Oreo sit for a minute, because if you take it right out and then get to drizzling, your lines will dry up quickly. So you don't want your lines to dry up too quick, because you want to be able to apply your sprinkles to your drizzle. So what we're going to do is go ahead and do some nice lines across here, and then apply some sprinkles. Okay, and if you are putting some of these balls on, you can just put a little chocolate at the bottom and place it on there. Alright, and then this is when you start applying your pieces. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and apply the tail, which I'm going to add some chocolate here so that it can stick well. And placing the fin here. Alright. Then we're going to place the seashell. To fall that way. Then we can add our seahorse. Just want to carefully place the seahorse wherever you like. Still a little soft, but it's good to put it on there and it'll stay. Alright. And you have your decorated, go ahead and move this, Oreo. Alright. So you can be real creative with your Oreos. You can stand up your mermaid tail, or you can just apply your mermaid tail to where it is just going to sit up as so. Okay, let's move this over here. And of course you want to apply your drizzle first. Let's put this down. Let's take that off and apply some drizzle. Okay. Add a few sprinkles there. And placing the seashell in a position that is going to stay. And then with this one, I'm going to apply the little baby seahorse. Squid Gang, there you have your theme under the sea mermaid Oreos. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and it has been a pleasure of me showing you these theme Oreos. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment in the comment section below. All the supplies that I have used in this video will be in the description up under this video. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell to let you know your girl Ro is on and getting ready to give you life. So, once again, this your girl Ro about to go, and I definitely will see y'all in the next video.